Welcome to the Eat Better, Move Better, Live Better podcast presented by Flourish with Tracy, where we'll dive into the realms of holistic wellness, plant-based nutrition, yoga, and self-care to help you live your best life. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our special segments. Meditation Monday, start your week with mindfulness. Wellness Wednesdays, get the midweek boost you need. Stillness Saturdays, dedicate weekends to personal growth. Join us as we explore and discuss all things to eat better, move better, and live better. In a world that equates busyness with worth, we are taught to measure our lives by how much we do. Yet in constant doing, we often lose touch with who we are. Today, we'll explore the profound difference between idleness and stillness, two states that may look similar on the outside but are fundamentally different on the inside. Let's begin by looking at idleness. Idleness is the state of non-productive doing. It's often filled with distractions characterized by restlessness, boredom, or avoidance. It's often externally passive but internally noisy. Examples could be mindless scrolling, procrastination, staying busy with unimportant tasks. And distractions are often disguised as rest. Idleness often looks like relaxation, but it's actually filled with unconscious avoidance, scrolling, flipping through channels, multitasking mindlessly. It's passive on the outside and agitated on the inside. There may be no movement happening, but the mind is busy and unfocused. There's a sense of doing nothing, but not truly resting. It's avoidance of inner discomfort. Idleness often arises when we want to avoid what we're really feeling: boredom, fear, loneliness, or emptiness. Stillness, on the other hand, is a state of intentional being, rooted in presence, characterized by peace, clarity, awareness, externally calm and internally harmonious. Examples are meditation, silent reflection, spending time in nature, and deep listening. It's a conscious pause. Stillness is not about inactivity. It's about intentional presence. It's the choice to be fully here without distraction. It's inner clarity and calm. Stillness invites mental spaciousness, emotional balance, and nervous system regulation. It's a sacred homecoming. It's in stillness that we reconnect with our truth, intuition, and deeper self beyond our roles and titles. On the surface, they may seem to be similar, but yet there are core differences. In motivation, idleness is avoidance, escape, and boredom. It arises from the desire to avoid effort or confront feelings. It's reactive and unconscious, whereas stillness is presence, awareness, and self-connection. And motivation arises from a conscious choice to rest and turn inward. It's proactive and nourishing. In idleness, our mental states are distracted, anxious, and numbed. Our brain is often foggy or overstimulated. Scattered thoughts may create anxiety or dull, restless energy. In stillness, however, our mental states are centered, quiet, alert. The mind becomes spacious and clear, not necessarily silent, but deeply aware. There's an alert kind of peace. Our energy is drained in idleness, creates stagnation, it saps our vitality. You may spend hours doing nothing and still feel tired. Stillness restores energy. It fosters flow. Even a short period can feel deeply rejuvenating and That's because you're aligned with presence, and our emotional outcomes are different. In idleness, it often leads to guilt. I've wasted the day. We may feel irritable and an inner disconnection filled with emptiness or restlessness. In stillness, our emotional outcomes are peace, fulfillment, and insight. It brings a sense of contentment, grace, and alignment, even without doing anything. And how we experience time is different. In idleness, time feels either slow and boring, or rushed and wasted, or heavy. In stillness, time can feel suspended, timeless. 5 minutes of deep presence can feel expansive and even satisfying. And so we look at idleness and stillness, it's about internal versus external orientation. Idleness is external. It's focusing on the outer world's expectations. What should I do next to feel worthy or productive? It keeps our attention scattered. It often involves multiple external stimuli. And it seeks temporary relief. Momentary distraction is prioritized over meaningful connections. Stillness is an internal orientation. It turns the attention inward, seeking connection with our breath, body, and awareness. Stillness listens deeply. It allows us to tap into intuition and inner guidance rather than reacting to the outside world, inviting us to self-inquiry, allowing space for contemplation and emotional truth to rise to the surface. And it impacts our nervous system differently. Idleness is a subtle stress activation, focusing on that external world. Whom should I please? Who do I impress? What should I do? How can I pass time? It triggers subtle anxiety. Idleness is often accompanied by inner tension, though it appears to be restful. It usually is demonstrated externally through shallow breathing and muscle tension. Even if seated or lying down, the body may hold on to low-level stress, and there's no real reset. It doesn't provide deep restoration that your body and mind crave. Stillness is the opposite. It draws us inward. And instead of worrying about who to please or impress, instead we ask, who am I when I'm not performing? What is arising in my awareness right now? And can I be okay with simply being? Stillness slows the breath and grounds the body, creating a sense of anchored safety. It fosters emotional regulation with space and quiet, and emotions are processed rather than suppressed. This also impacts our nervous systems. Idleness keeps us in a subtle fight or flight state, often accompanied with a racing mind. It doesn't regulate the nervous system at all. And stillness activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that allows for healing and repair. It supports clarity and creativity. It offers true restoration of our nervous systems. And there's also a difference spiritually. Idleness disconnects us and distracts us from our deeper self. We avoid inner truth, pain, or insight. Idleness keeps us numb, disassociated, distracted. We stay on the surface of our experiences, avoiding the deeper truths. Idleness blocks our soul's voice. Inner wisdom is drowned out by noise, both literal and figuratively. It keeps us feeling empty. Despite lots of doing, there's often a gnawing sense of meaninglessness. Stillness reconnects us. It's an open doorway to our spirit, our soul, our divine wisdom. In stillness, we remember who we are beneath all of the roles and labels. Ancient wisdom always speaks to power, to be still and know. It allows divine presence to emerge within us, embracing that all that's sacred is found in silence and stillness. Stillness supports our soul alignment. We can remember our essence beyond our egos, and it fuels our authentic actions. True inspiration and clarity arises after stillness, not from force, but from alignment. We often misunderstand idleness and stillness. It's not your fault. Culturally, our society often confuses and mislabels stillness as laziness. Being present is undervalued. Having to do, having to produce is overvalued. Our culture emphasizes and places value of doing over being, leaving little room for rest or receptivity. We praise hustle culture while misunderstanding the regenerative nature of stillness. Idleness is often normalized, even as it leaves us feeling depleted. We're praised if we can binge watch or multitask. Idleness is marketed as self-care, yet it leaves us drained as we consume without awareness. And that's often confused with rest. These activities distract and do not replenish nor reconnect. Stillness has been said to be selfish or wasteful, yet stillness is where our power and creativity are restored and replenished. And there are pathways to stillness. We can do mindful breath work, anchoring attention to the present moment and gently slow down the nervous system. Breath is always available. It always will anchor us into being. We can practice meditation in silence, observing ourselves without judgment. Meditation in silence cultivates inner listening. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can shift the internal state from chaos to calm. Natural immersion is a pathway to stillness, allowing us to feel and connect with the stillness of the earth, trees, rivers, and sky, reminding us of our natural state. Nature doesn't rush. Its rhythm invites harmony and slowing down. We can practice stillness through body awareness practices such as yoga, tai chi, or somatic movement to ground us into presence and embodiment. We can even do flowing rhythmic dancing. And when we feel safe in our body, stillness follows more easily. We can practice stillness through creative flow, doing something with intention and presence, painting, writing, cooking. It all brings us into the here and now. It becomes meditative when the focus is on the process, not the result. We can practice stillness through sacred rituals by inviting stillness with intention and reverence, taking a quiet bath, lighting a candle, preparing tea, creating altars. Rituals are portals into stillness, inviting reverence and intention into the everyday. And there are gifts that you receive when you choose stillness. You acquire deep self-awareness and intuitiveness. You begin to notice thought patterns, emotions, and beliefs you had overlooked. You gain emotional regulation and groundedness. Stillness gives space for feelings to rise and be processed gently. You receive renewed vitality, energy, and focus, restoring by aligning with the natural rhythm of rest and activity. You gain heightened creativity, insight, and problem solving through quiet moments that allow unexpected ideas and inspirations to arise. You gain spiritual connection with your soul or higher consciousness, as stillness becomes a temple in which we meet our true self or the divine. And stillness offers freedom from compulsive or addictive busyness. We realize our worth is not dependent on productivity. When you're ready to embrace your stillness, you can begin by asking yourself these reflective questions. You can journal or just silently ask yourself through inner inquiry, where in my life am I idle rather than truly still? What habits keep me busy without nourishing me? When was the last time I experienced deep stillness? What did it feel like in my body and mind? What am I avoiding by staying busy or distracted? Are there emotions or truths I fear sitting with? And how might my life transform if I made space for more stillness? What could I gain from slowing down and being present? And as you answer these questions for yourself, be true, be honest, and be authentic. And then implement. You can implement the answers to these questions through 5 minutes of daily stillness, just sitting in silence without phone or task, closing your eyes, just breathe and observe. Start with a timer and slowly increase over time. You can do a mindful transition, taking a pause between meetings, activities, tasks, or meals. Pause and just take one slow breath. These micro moments ground you in the here and the now. They help you to become present. You can practice tech-free evenings as you answer your questions, choosing one evening a week to put away devices and reconnect with quiet rituals. Invite silence, journal, or just sit with candlelight. You can walk in silence without music or phones or devices. Notice the sound of your steps, the rhythm of your breath. Be present and just notice. And create a stillness altar, a small space with a candle, a sacred object, or an image that invites you to be presence, a sacred space to return to your true self. And visit it daily or often as a moment of pause and remembrance. I'd like to now invite you to a short guided practice. Please sit comfortably and close your eyes. I'd like you to focus and notice the difference between a restless mind and a spacious breath. With each inhale, feel yourself arriving. With each exhale, release the urge to distract. In this space, there's nothing to prove, nothing to perform. Only the still, alive presence of your being. Sit here for a few moments and let the stillness speak. Breathing in and out at your own cadence and pace. Breathe. Take a deep breath in and out. Open your eyes. How do you feel? Notice. You can journal how you feel or just reflect. Stillness is not something we must earn after a long day of doing. Stillness is a birthright, a portal to who we truly are beneath all of the noise. Stillness is not the absence of motion, it is the presence of awareness. It's connecting to our breath. It's a quiet strength of returning to center, a radical act of self-remembrance in a noisy world. It is the sacred space of stillness that we receive our clearest truths, deepest healing, and highest guidance. In a world urging us to go faster, we must find the courage to slow down. In a world of idleness masked as rest, may we choose the presence of being. In stillness, we do not lose time, we find ourselves. When we pause, not in idleness, but in sacred stillness, we reclaim the truth of who we are. Not human doings, human beings. Namaste. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's insights help you on a personal journey towards a healthier, happier life. Don't forget to join every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for more self-care and holistic wellness tips. Before you go, make sure to comment, click the bell, like, and subscribe buttons for upcoming episode notifications. Be sure to always consult a medical professional before making any major changes regarding your health, diet, or routine. In the meanwhile, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, every step you take is one step closer to a better you. Until next time, keep flourishing, and as always, may all be well.